All right.
Welcome.
Hey, now we're live. This is exciting.
We're live.
I feel cool when I'm talking to you, Rick.
I feel cool when I'm talking to you. So I'm at my home, and Seth is at Blue Valley Bistro, the Cresswell version, because now they're mega complexes everywhere. There's not a small town in Oregon that doesn't have a Blue Valley Bistro.
Well, yeah, that's cool. Someday.
That's the dream.
Right now, we're just flanking Eugene, so maybe we'll go west or east next time. I don't know.
That's right. You guys, this is Happy Hours of Dancers. I'm having my new favorite beer. Have you had this yet, Seth?
Tropic Pines from No, I haven't.
It is Kathy and I a 4-pack, and it's been brewing, and we just cannot. We love it. It's like if you're going through the store, you go, here's all the different ones. No, that's what we're taking, and we take it. So
I'll pick that up next time. I'm drinking a chocolate porter from Three Creeks out of Sisters.
Oh, so, okay. I know that one. I like that beer.
Yeah, it's super smooth. So you guys got people like chiming in.
Yeah, they're already talking. People are already coming on. So you guys, Seth and Melissa bought the Blue Valley Bistro when it was Cresswell Coffee. How many years has it been?
It'll be 10 years next month. Or July, I guess. 10 years at the beginning of July.
And you were saying that kind of your business model, not necessarily your model, but you end up always in times that are tough. You jump in. You're not afraid, like what we're going through right now, and you jump in.
Well, you and I were talking about your the tattoo artist, right? And they're like, well, now's the time. Either we're going to do this or we're not. And that's the same thing Melissa and I said 10 years ago. It's like, what do we have to lose? We don't have a kid. We don't have a house. Our life savings is, I don't know, like $5,000. Like, let's just start a coffee shop and see what happens. If we fail miserably, we're young enough to bounce back. And that was like 10 years ago. Now I have a kid. I have a house. I really don't want to fail, but I recognize that during times where people are afraid to make big moves, just look at history, not my history, but just history in general. That's like Rockefeller, like those people. They capitalized on times in which other people were afraid to. So I think go for it.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then you guys just recently expanded this last year to Coburg and Pleasant Hill.
So we opened up a shop in Coburg in October. October 17th was the lucky day. And we were off to a great start. Had a little bit of a setback there with the quarantine. Hey, thanks, Zach. So kind of little setback. We actually ended up closing for a month until we got this payroll protection loan and hired all the employees back, and we're now open there 7 days a week, 8 to 3. People are taking advantage of this beautiful patio we have out there. This is my daughter and Melissa.
Yes, honey, Melissa. Hi. Melissa, hold on. Kathy's coming again. If Melissa comes on, I will.
Hi.
Hi, Lila. How are you, honey?
Hi. Lila, how are you?
Great.
That explains it all.
How else could I be? I'm great.
She's been having, our shop down here in Cresswell, we have the interior closed to the public. And this is.
Oh, now she's come alive.
Oh, yeah. Well, she saw
Take over the show, girl.
And she gets toys.
Well, yeah. So we kind of turned our cafe into our daycare, and she hangs out with us 9 hours a day. It's bring your kid to work day every day. And she's a trooper, but I think she's gone a little crazy. So
well, look at the genes she comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Lisa, yes, we are in Coburg. I just saw your statement there, and so we're right there, the brand new building on. It's Willamette Street or Coburg Road if you're in Eugene. And we're at the north end of it, right next to Bronco Saloon / Chiefs. And we serve the same menu in Coburg that we do in Cresswell. It's, kind of put us on the map over the last 10 years.
So Kathy and I are like coffee snobs, and we were going to the beach, and we were thinking of all the coffee places from here to Pacific City.
Yeah.
The only one that's any good was in Coburg. And it's like, now we can go to Coburg, get our coffee, and then head on out to the beach.
Right. Yeah, how was the beach? I love Pacific City.
Oh, it was nice.
It was.
Sarah says she loves the Blue Valley Bistro's burritos.
Yeah, I love those too. Sarah, I got to tell you, I used to make those when I'd go camping every summer, like 4th of July and Labor Day. And it took me a really long time to figure out how to translate from cooking on a Coleman in a cast iron skillet to making burritos here at the shop. And I'm so glad I did, because they're a big seller.
So Zack, how far off of the exit for which place? For it's really about the same for Crestwell as with Coburg.
It is good. All right, so in Coburg, if you're going that way, take the Coburg exit and go straight into town until you run into a dead end, and you're pretty much right there. We're just at the north end of that building. You can't miss it. In Crestwell, we're on the east side of I-5, right next to Bimart. Both of those, as the crow flies from the freeway on-ramp, is about 3/4 of a mile.
Okay,
easy on, easy off, lots of parking.
Oh, the Coburg. Okay, so he told you on there, Zack. So
yeah. Coburg exit, right in the heart of downtown. I'm looking out my front door at the park, if you know where that's at. And there's parking around the back of the building or any of those side streets.
And Zack, if you're in Eugene and out at Costco, just head on out to Coburg, and it's just right in downtown, right in the downtown metropolis of Coburg. So you guys, Seth has a new. You have a little name, a different name than what we're used to. I want you to kind of tell us that.
Yeah. Well, that's I was telling you, it's my nickname that I've had since the day I was born. My aunt gave that to me because I was tall and long and skinny, like a string bean or a green bean. But it works with coffee too.
So it's Seth the Bean, right?
Yeah, and then Lila Bean, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Melissa, you're not a bean at all, huh?
I'm just Melissa.
Yeah.
Zack, yes, they're open on weekends. In fact,
yeah, 8 to 3, 7 days a week right now. Our hours were bigger, and they will be bigger at some point. But during this quarantine business, we're kind of keeping it simple.
And Zack, it's a perfect place, because I think you might head out to Harrisburg on a Sunday from some of your friends that I know. And it's a great place to stop back by and have coffee and or lunch. The salads are to die for. The paninis are really good. And I will brag for Melissa. I hate doing this because she gets such a big head when I do this.
I know what you're going to say.
She makes really, really good. Not as good as my wife's, Melissa. I have to say that. Kathy's right here, remember.
Ooh, yes.
Chocolate chip cookies, and even Kathy loves your chocolate chip cookies.
They're pretty good. They're pretty solid.
Oh, and your blue cheese dressing. Oh my God. That is like you could drink it.
Yeah.
So Beth is going to show us how to make cold brew coffee.
Yeah, I'm going to show you real quick, Rick. Right out there is my patio, and right there where my fingers are. That's all outdoor seating here in Crestwell. So if you guys are in the area, come on down and enjoy this beautiful weather we're having.
And Jeff, I noticed that your lawn furniture was delivered in Coburg.
Yeah.
People sitting out it's beautiful out on the patio there. And
yeah. So we have 6 short tables and 3 tall tables. I don't know how many seats that is, somewhere around 20 outside. Part of it's undercover, so even if it's raining, you can still sit out there. And Griffiths Wine, who opened up next door, they have outdoor seating also. And we kind of people hop back and forth.
And the gym at the end is now open.
The gym at the end does not have outdoor seating, but they're an awesome gym. They're at the other end of Coburg.
Is Hayworth Vineyards open yet in Coburg?
Is what?
Is the vineyard the wine shop?
Yeah, Hayworth Wine. Yeah, they just opened this weekend. The little tasting room right next door to us. Yeah.
Well, we looked inside there. That thing is really cute. They did it
pretty cool. Well. Yeah, and we're working with them. We were providing cheese boards for them all weekend. We'll continue. We'll probably have a pretty pared down menu right now, but the idea being is we're their kitchen. So we're going to come up with some really cool things that we can work with them to complement their wine. So,
all right. Let's how to make cold brew. I'm excited.
Yeah, Rick. All right. So I just want, all right. So first off, I've been selling so much whole bean coffee to go right now because people aren't dining here. So they're taking pounds of coffee home to brew coffee at the house. And now that the weather's getting nicer, I really kind of wanted to show you or whoever's paying attention how you can make your own cold brew, because black drip coffee is only exciting for so long, and then you got to kind of change it up and do something more fun.
You got it. Yeah.
All right. So this right here, this is a really kind of a specialized piece of plastic. It's called the Toddy system, Toddy. And you can pick these up. I've actually bought this one. I think at Down to Earth. I've seen them at Market of Choice, or not Market of Choice, maybe.
How much are they about? Do you know? Just like a rough idea.
Well, it comes with like a glass jar and everything, and I want to say it's about $40.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, like I've literally had this one for probably 8 years. So hey. Okay, so there's two other pieces, a little tiny stopper. You can either do cork or rubber. And then this thing right here, which are replaceable. These are just like a mesh filter. And basically, the hole in the bottom right there, we're going to put the plug in the bottom.
Okay.
Then we're going to put the filter. There's a little nesting spot in there. The filter is going to go right in there. And what that does is it's gravity fed. So we're going to put the coffee beans and the water in there, let it sit overnight. And then in the morning, we'd pull the plug. And it'll filter through that filter and keep all the coffee grounds back and give you this nice real concentrate. So this is what else you need to make this happen. I have a pound of coffee. This is our own proprietary blend that we have Cafeto roast for us. Fantastic. I have nothing but good things to say about Cafeto. Family owned, organic, fair trade. It's quality stuff. What you'll notice about this bean or these grounds though, and I can't really show this on camera too much, but they're really, really coarse.
So when you grind them, you're making it a coarse grind.
Yeah, exactly. So ideally for the best coffee, you want to grind it at your house. And if you can do that, preferably if you have like a burr grinder as opposed to one of those blades, just set it on a really coarse setting, you'll be all right. Or if you're buying your coffee from me, just say, hey, can you grind this for a French or for a cold brew? And I'll do it for you.
And you'll know what it's supposed to be.
What was that?
And you'll know what it's supposed to be.
Exactly right. Because if you were to just go to the store and buy pre-ground coffee, it's ground for a flat bottom drip coffee machine, and that's too fine. It will like clog up the water, and you won't get the concentrate how you want it.
Okay.
Okay. In addition to a pound of coffee, this is the ratio, Rick. If you want to write this down, it's a pound of coffee, 9 cups of water. That's the magic sauce right there. I just use our medium house roast, although if you want to use like an espresso roast or a French roast or a decaf, those are all viable options too. It's really just how it's ground. So what we're going to do is kind of an alternating method. I'm just going to kind of take this and I'm going to add a couple cups of water to the bottom. And then I'm going to take my coffee here. I'm going to take half of it. Let's do a quick little pinch. Let's go this way. Oh, there we go. And we're going to pour like half the coffee in that bucket right there.
Okay.
Then what I'm going to do is I already used 2 cups. So I've got about 7 cups of water right here. And I'm going to just do kind of like a circular motion, trying to saturate all of these coffee grounds evenly. I'd say like a slow pour is probably a little bit better. If you go too fast, it kind of mushrooms up and has a tendency to go over the top when you get to the end.
And that's just cold water.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like ice cold. I mean, room temperature is fine too. So this is something that's kind of unique about cold brewed coffee that most people don't know. When you use a traditional coffee brewing system with hot water, the hot water shocks the beans, and that releases the acidity in the coffee. When you do a cold brewed method, it doesn't shock the beans. The acidity is not released. It's a much smoother flavor. And more importantly, if you're one of those people that coffee gives you stomach issues, it's usually the acidity, not the caffeine. Cold brewed coffee will prevent that. You generally will not have stomach issues with cold brewed coffie.
And it's a lot better, than getting an Americano, iced Americano, because it gets weaker.
Right. So what happens with the cold brew system is you essentially end up with about, if you use a pound of beans, you're going to end up with about 6 cups or so of concentrate. Yes, that's right, Zach. 1 pound, 9 cups of water. All right, so you're going to end up with a concentrate tomorrow. And what you do is you just find a ratio of concentrate to water or ice that you like. Some people go straight up, and it's like drinking an Americano with 6 shots of espresso. I generally try to mimic what I do with an Americano. So in a 20-ounce iced drink, there would be 4 ounces of concentrate, and then the rest would be ice and water, and then whatever sweetener or cream that you prefer. But honestly, if you're just doing it at your house, do whatever tastes right to you.
Right.
Okay, so I had half the beans in there. I poured about half the water. Now I'm going to put the rest of the coffee grounds in there and then the rest of the water on top, and I'm done. You want to let it steep. I would just say just do it in the evening and then pull the plug in the morning. It's about 12 hours is ideal. I've let them go a lot longer than that sometimes. I've let them go a little bit shorter. Longer doesn't really seem to be an effect with cold brew. It doesn't really appear to over extract. Like you can over extract espresso when you're making shots of espresso. You can't really over extract cold brewed because you're already turning it into a concentrate, but you can definitely under extract it. So make sure you get a solid like 8 hours minimum.
Okay.
I can really shoot for 12. So like I'm making it right now at, let's see what it's going on, 6 o'clock. So when I get here in the morning, I'll pull the plug and let it drain and make sure it drains fully so you maximize your investment.
So then you just pull that little plug out and it filters.
Yeah. All right. So now I can't really tip it, but you can see that coffee all the way up to the top. There's that little.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
What I would do is tomorrow, I'm just going to set it on top of, I have like one of those half-gallon ball jars right there. Uh-huh. And I would just set it on top of that ball jar, pull the plug out, set it up on top, and walk away. And about, 20 minutes later, it'll all be drained into that glass jar. And I just keep that in the refrigerator.
So, Zach, he does not sell the cold brew system, but he said you can buy them where?
Yeah, you let other people.
You might want to get into that. That might be something you should do. You know what I mean?
I have had systems here, different like pour overs and cold brews over the years. It's just my retail department is minimal at the moment.
Terry said you made it a year ago. Loved how smooth it is. It doesn't upset your stomach like Seth said, but I miss the smell of brewing coffee in the morning.
Well,
this is in addition to coffee in the morning. Yeah. So you have your coffee in the morning. This is your
afternoon coffee. So I make like an Americano for myself in the morning, and then in the afternoon, if I want something iced when it's like 90 degrees outside, or actually what I do, I have the luxury here is that every once in a while I get crazy and I brew up a batch of nitro infused cold brew. It's like a beer alternative. It's fantastic. I haven't been doing that. I generally don't do it in the winter, and it's right around this time of year where the weather turns nice that I kind of bleach my cornies and then like start filling it and making cold brew on nitro. And it's a fun.
So do you have a garden this year at the store?
Yeah, I do. Matter of fact, I'm growing right now. I've got a bunch of spring onions out there, some lettuces and some arugula. And then I have some perennial like sage and what's the other? Thyme, sage and thyme. I have a lot, and parsley. So and all of that stuff this year has been voluntary. Like it all just kind of showed up from last year. So that was exciting.
So Seth grows some of the things you have when you order a salad there. Some of that is coming from there or a local producer who grows the salad locally. Yeah.
So I use a lot. Cottonwood Run is a local farm that I use from, and Good Food Easy is another local farm I buy a lot of stuff from. And then I have a customer who's a master gardener, and like her garden is the size of my house. And she provides me with mini tomatoes and peppers and lettuce and all sorts of random things throughout the season.
So Seth, last thing to ask you.
Yeah.
What have you learned through all this COVID stuff about people, about your business, about who support you, and the importance of all that stuff?
Yeah. Well, thank you for asking. That's something actually is really close to me right now. I don't know if you got a chance to read it, but about 2 or 3 days ago, I guess on Thursday, the Cresswell or the Chronicle, the local paper, released a 1,000-word article that I had submitted about just from a business owner's perspective, how I have interpreted the last 2 months. And my big emphasis on that really had to do with the, what would the word be? The generosity that I've witnessed from my customer base. Whether it was, I have a customer that I would keep nameless, has every 2 weeks come by with an envelope with a little bit of cash in it, knowing full and well that him and his wife are hunkering down. They didn't want to be exposed in any way, but recognizes that the dollars that they spend here on a daily or weekly basis still need to be spent. And so he just wanted to do his part to make sure that we stayed afloat. Otherwise, things were crazy. Things sometimes take a little bit longer than we would like them to be in terms of getting food out to people, or how long you have to wait in line, or this or that. And for the most part, I have witnessed nothing but people being accepting of it being a different world. They're patient, they're kind, they're generous. These are all things that, if you spend enough time in the food service industry, you sometimes go long stretches without seeing real generosity. And it's just really cool. I have this community of Cresswell and the community of Coburg have bent over backwards to show their support and love for us. And that's just, oh man, it feels great. It feels really good.
Yeah. So. I think the cool thing about this is it's like, you think, should I go get a cup of coffee? And you're going, it's only $4 or $5 or whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go do it. I have another reason to do it. It's because it shows you what I'm doing. And it's all back and forth, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just been really fun too, because it being hey, Scott. Hey, sorry, Scott. They live back, where do they live? Ohio? So yeah, Scott and Ann. Anyway,
so can't get the volume to work for some reason.
Yeah.
So we have to wave and go like this. Scott, we see you. Yeah.
Yeah. They so Scott and Ann are an amazing couple that spend a lot of time out here in Oregon, but actually aren't from the area. And they've become great customers of ours. And they would typically be here like this time of year, except that with all this going on, they kind of are stuck back. I think it's Ohio. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that. Anyway, yeah, great people. So it was just exciting when his name popped up there.
Well, yeah, he figured he must have popped up somehow. And hopefully he can go back and watch this live. So, all right, I'm taped up and on and on and on.
For sure.
So
I appreciate the time. I was like, hey, listen, let's show people how to make cold brew, kind of change it up, do your concentrate, put some ice, maybe a little bit of cream in there. Heavy cream is my way to go. It's a great elixir in an afternoon. So
I'm going to have to try that, because I fake it and I take my little AeroPress and I have this system that I leave it in there for 8 minutes and then I put it in, and then I put my coconut cream in there, and I do make a hell of a drink that way. But I would like to have it in the fridge where I could just pour it out.
It makes it pretty convenient when it's just like ready to go for you.
They live in Arkansas. We love. Oh, Scott, I hope you can hear this now. Let me just tell you something. My wife and I have been to Arkansas. We love Arkansas. Oh my God, the people were so nice, and we were in Eureka Springs, and God, what's the home of the Razorbacks? It's a college town. Honey, do you remember? Oh, I can't even remember, but Scott can tell me. But we stayed in both places. It is Arkansas. It is a beautiful state, and the people were so kind. So Scott, yeah, it's obvious that you run into other kind people, and you are attracted to kind people, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. So Seth, again, thank you for the sponsorship for me. I like doing this for you, and you sponsor me, and all together we're going to hang in here and keep this thing going and see what we do.
I like the sound of my own voice, so anytime you want me on here, just give me a call.
Well, you're actually really easy to do this with, because I don't have to coach you.
Cool. That works for me too.
I just hit the buttons and you go. So, Fayetteville. Thank you, Donna. Fayetteville. If you guys ever get a chance, go to Fayetteville, Arkansas. Beautiful college town. They love their Razorbacks. Oh my God. And Donna sent me and Kathy Razorback sweatshirts. We love them. They have the big Razorback on them.
I hear they have pretty solid barbecue over there too.
Oh, and then you go to Eureka Springs, and it's this little town built on a hill, a little mining town. Oh my God. And they have healing water there. By the way, Rick, no one has a more beautiful laugh and Seth's wife, Melissa. I know. We all love Melissa. We just hate to tell her, because she just gets so full of herself. Now, because of that comment, It'll be a month before I'm able to put her back on because I don't have a wide screen.
I'm so introverted. I'm like sweating just being in the room right now.
Melissa's got a little smile because he wants to see it. There you go. Get out of here.
Hey, Rick, thank you guys for the drink.
You're welcome. See you guys later. Thank you for saying how to make cold brew. See you later. She says bye, but she's in the back room.
Oh, tell her
Bye,
bye.
Okay, see you later. Bye, hon. All right, see you later, Scott. Bye, you guys. Share this on your page, everybody. It helps Melissa.
Will do. Bye.
See you guys. See you, man.